G'day gamers, Ranger Tony here, and I'm starting a little playthrough of Pathfinder Kingmaker Beneath the Stolen Lands. So, I've played around with this a little bit, and I really like this. It is a randomly generated dungeon that you can go through. You can start at first level, and you can just see how far you get. Now, if you're playing the main storyline, I believe that you can also you meet up with the dragon, and he gives you the quest to go in there. So it's an optional thing that you can do in the main story. But I'm just having fun building parties and seeing how far I can get before we all die horribly. And it's a lot of fun. You progress very quickly. And yeah, the furthest I've got so far, I think, is 11th level. My characters were all like 6th or 7th level by that point. And yeah, a little bit of fun. So let's dive on in. So I'm going to do a bit of the reading on this sort of stuff that I normally don't do. So meet with the self-proclaimed protector of Golarion and discover what secrets lie beneath the stolen lands in a shifting labyrinth of madness where nothing is what it seems, complete with new enemies to battle and new treasures to unearth. Defend the lands against one of the most dangerous enemies the world has ever faced. You may begin your descent into the rogue-like tenebrous depths with a new character, or await an invitation from a mysterious protector of Golarion as you play through the main story. This dungeon is one of the hardest challenges your party can encounter in the game. Be careful and good luck to you. Very much like that. So I'm going to play my normal mode, which is to turn off critical hits, to remove negative effects on rest, to make my enemies normal enemies that do 100% damage, or 1 times party damage, on normal. I'm going to flick Kingdom Management to auto, not that it really matters. We're going to stay in the last Aslanti mode so that we don't have a save. We can't go back if we do things wrong. And of course I'm going to turn the tutorial off, which actually doesn't seem to work properly because it still gives you the tutorial. So what am I going to play? I'm warning you now, there's probably going to be a few different playthroughs here where I play with different parties just to see how far I can get and what have you. Of course, if this party gets all the way through, then I might not do that, but I have done this with a couple of different parties and see how far I can get. As you can see here, we've got Randy, and I've got 2 characters here which were called Rogue Tony. I'm actually probably going to rebuild this one here. So what I'm probably going to have is a party of rogues, and they're probably all going to be halflings, or halflings and dwarfs, or something like that. So I'm just going to go cancel there to remove the save. Let's pick this one as my main character. That will do. And no, that's a halfling portrait. Thank you very much with that. And what sort of hairstyle? Yeah, that one's not bad. Is there a better face? I might use face 4 for that one, and body type doesn't really matter. I don't know, for some reason I prefer the slightly thinner looking bodies. They all seem to look more normal. Not that I'm a thinner body, but anyway, so we are going to go with a Knife Master Rogue. If you've seen my other playthroughs, I love the Knife Master. This one we're going to build as a Kukri Knife Master. The problem with that, of course, is going to be that I would normally do a Kukri build as a human rather than as a halfling, because the humans get the extra feat at first level. So this is going to mean that I can either not take 2-weapon fighting at first level, or I can't take see, normally I would pick 2-weapon fighting and martial weapons so that I can get the Kukri. But I think we'll see what I'll do in a sec. So, Knife Master. Probably the party makeup I'm thinking of, and we do this fairly quickly because you get given money to be able to hire party members. So I won't spoil it actually. But let's just dive on in. I am going to get rid of this extra charisma there and bump up the strength. So we're going to go to 18, and then 16, and then 14 there. I'm sort of tempted to Oh, I can only take 1 point off there. I'd like my characters to have a bit more wisdom than this. I don't know. I really don't know. You know what? I'm not going to put the extra points into intelligence at all. I'm going to put them into strength only because if I'm building a party purely of halflings, their carry capacity is going to be atrocious. It really is. And so I'm going to give up some of the teamwork feats that I would normally get with a higher intelligence just to be able to carry a bit more. So we'll do all right with teamwork feats. You'll see. I might let some of the other guys take some teamwork, but we'll see. Okay. Definitely want mobility. I definitely want trickery. Well, actually, mobility not so much. I definitely want stealth and trickery. No ifs, ands, or buts about that. And I definitely want perception. One of the things I will say about this dungeon is you definitely want someone with high perception and someone with high trickery, because there are a lot of traps and there are a lot of hidden doors. And if you can't find the traps, or if you can't disarm the traps, you're going to have trouble. If you can't find them, yeah, you're screwed anyway. But if you can't disarm them, your only option is to trigger them, and your party's going to die quickly. I was playing around with a party of all rangers, and I ended up having to start to give some of my rangers trickery because we couldn't open chests, and in particular, we just had to trigger traps, and that was no bueno. It wasn't fun at all. 2 more points. Where do I want them? I don't think persuasion is all that useful in this dungeon. I'm going to take Knowledge World, which isn't going to help a lot with the dungeon, although there are these little pedestals around which you have to use different abilities, different skills to trigger them, and if you successfully trigger them, you get a buff for the entire party for a certain, until you sleep again, sort of thing. So it is worthwhile picking some of these abilities, but I don't remember any of them being persuasion. And I guess it's going to be useful to have use magic device. I always forget to use the devices, but we'll give that a try. So, as I said, the option here, normally I would go for 2-weapon fighting, but the fact of the matter is, just finding 2 weapons to use initially is going to be hard. Whereas if instead I take martial weapon proficiency straight away, no, I will take 2-weapon fighting because I can just grab a couple of daggers, or you get given a punch dagger anyway. So we'll take 2-weapon fighting to begin with. Then we'll take, at 2nd level, when we get our first rogue talent, we'll take the other one and we can grab a kukri then.
I didn't even break a sweat.
So rather than being Rogue Tony, I'll pick a more halfling name and go with Toby.
You will be victorious.
Right. So that's my character build. Nothing you haven't seen me build before. Now, let's go and meet the Guardian. See, I turned off tutorials before, but this thing is still around, so I'm going to turn this off, but we have to explore the dungeon. To explore the dungeon, we have to go and speak to this massive dragon. I'm not even going to try and correctly pronounce this name. I think I'll just call him Zell, and even that's probably wrong. The dragon stares at you for a long time unblinking. Maybe it's just to trigger the light, but you think you see a heavy mercury teardrop rolling from its pearly eye. You have answered my call, protector of Galarian. I will have you know, no one has ever returned from these caves alive. Many valiant heroes before you have sacrificed their lives to bring victory one step closer. I have not forgotten their feats, nor will I forget yours. Who are you? Tell me about yourself. What do you want to know? I will hide nothing from you. Who are you? My name is Zelerian. I tried. I am a loyal servant of Apsu. Thousands of years ago, my god appointed me to watch over this place, where deep in the depths there hides a great evil. I knew at once the repulsive smell of the beast, but it took me centuries to locate the egg he left. At this time, I've stood guard here, looking for a way to destroy the spawn before it hatched and brought immeasurable suffering to those who dwell upon the land. Apsu, who is that? The dragon casts a pearly skyward glance. Oh, Apsu, he is more ancient than all the gods whose names you know. He is the maker of all, who stands at the origin of the multiverse. Few mortals remember him, but we metallic dragons still praise him in our prayers. I think he's a silver dragon, this one. So many heroes passed here, the noblest souls of Golarion, selfless protectors of their homeland, ready to sacrifice their lives to save it from the spawn of the beast. I remember each and every one striding fearlessly down into the darkness. Almost none of them have returned, and it is all my fault. The dragon lowers his huge head. True repentance can be heard in his thunderous voice. I made a mistake, and they paid dearly for it. You see, I never understood the true nature of the monster. For many years, I and the heroes who answered my call would wander these dungeons, thinking that the monster larva was the greatest threat. It was only when I found the egg and touched its shell that I realized the spawn had turned the entire dungeon into its nest. Madness, mortal. Darkness and madness are the monster's sword and shield, its food and the material that its shell is made of. The heroes I summoned here descended into madness. They lost their minds, and the spawn of the beast fed upon their insanity. Somehow I avoided the same fate. They went down into the darkness, driven by the noblest of intentions, and rewarded only with eternal torment. Sounds like fun. I don't remember asking, is it me or are you really sad? So many heroes passed here, the noblest souls of glory. Yeah, I've read that already. Okay. What are you doing here? I am guarding the spawn of Rov, that'll do, that sleeps in the cave beneath us. I summon heroes to help me defeat it. It is a long and joyless vigil, but I believe that it will one day be over. Perhaps you yourself are the hero who will finally achieve this long-awaited victory. Thank you for your answers. The truth is the least I can give you for your feat. What feat do you expect of me? An egg laid by the abominable Rov has cursed this dungeon for thousands of years. The larva of the beast will destroy half of the river kingdoms if it hatches. The shell that surrounds it is a labyrinth of darkness and madness, inhabited by thousands of its former victims. Hundreds of heroes perished as they sought a way through it. But now I know where the egg is, and the path to it is almost clear. Almost. What blocks the way to the monster? Oh, that is the saddest and scariest part. The spawn of the beast feeds on nightmares, and its very shell is made of madness. The caves around it are filled with insanity. It has flooded them with an ocean of darkness which distorts the very nature of the multiverse. Heroes who approach grow mad or perish in great suffering. This gives the egg its strength. The monster feeds on their terror and pain, and neither alive nor dead, but tormented eternally by their worst nightmares, these brave heroes still wander the labyrinth. Find and destroy 4 of their strongest, and the power of the beast's madness will weaken. Then I'll be able to crack open the shell. We must destroy the monsters before it hatches and grows strong. The fallen priestess, the weary traveller, the wicked chanter, the captor, and his horrifying slave. Deliver them into peace, and the path to the enemy will be opened. Why don't you kill these 4 yourself? The dragon's body shudders. It would seem that the thought of what hides in the depth can chill the soul of even a mighty dragon. The egg is surrounded by an ever-shifting labyrinth of insanity and darkness. This insanity, which the larva emits, is capable of subduing even the most valiant of heroes. I have ventured down before, and it was only by a miracle that I slipped the fate that has ensnared so many other brave heroes. If I tried to vanquish it alone, then sooner or later it would devour me, drink my soul, and add me to the horde of the nightmare that guards it. Who would be able to destroy me then? Thus I continue summoning heroes to the place. Many of those who answered my call turn their back and return to their lives once they discover how slim are their chances of victory, and I do not blame them. But my vigil is nearing an end. The hour of the last battle with the monster draws near. If you can manage to weaken its shell, I can crack it and we will finish it together. Sounds like we're in for a fun time. Tell me about the fallen priestess. Her name is Taiko Sakasama. She led a party of adventures here, noblest heroes and truest friends. Together they defeated many foes, but they never faced anything like this. Taiko once served Lamatsu. Then this brave and wise woman recognized how disgusting her patron was and gathered the strength to leave her service, finding shelter in the hands of Desna. Alas, Lamatsu is called the mistress of insanity for a reason. The labyrinth tricked Taiko's mind and stole from her Desna's protection. When next her reason failed, she returned to Lamatsu and sacrificed her friends to her cruel mistress one by one. Ever since she has lurked in the depths seeking new gifts for her mistress. Alas, the last embers of good in her soul have long faded. She has become a monster. The beast has consumed her utterly. Okay, so we've got a mad cleric. Tell me about the weary traveller. He was a gnome named Bull Zess. He was quite a famous traveller, a Pathfinder on 3 continents. But bleaching gives no quarter to these people. There came a day when he grew tired of new roads. When he heard my call, he came knowing it would be his final adventure. He did not anticipate victory, but hoped at least for an honourable death. Alas, the darkness reached out to him from the abominable spawn of the beast and refused him even that. An aura of madness filled the gnome with delusions of grandeur and transported his mind into the marvellous Fey world where he sits, a godlike ruler. He has become a frightening, dangerous and pathetic caricature of his former self, a king without a kingdom, the god of a rotten soul. Immersed in sweet dreams, he wanders the halls, barking orders at the wandering monsters. A sad sight to behold. His death will bring him not only peace, but also restore the dignity he lost. So a mad gnome. Mad gnomish king. Isn't there a movie about that? Tell me about the captor. The captor is the greatest wizard I ever managed to talk into visiting this gloomy place. I had high hopes for him, so I turned a blind eye to the darkness in his soul. I expect he was already insane before he even came here. Nothing else could explain his indifference towards suffering. He was strong and confident and managed to get quite close to the spawn, very close before he met his end. Be warned that the captor does not appear alone. He is always accompanied by a disgusting beast that he summoned from beneath the world. The two are firmly bound in death and can revive each other, so they must be killed at once. Okay, a mad wizard and his creature that you've got to kill at the same time. That's going to be fun. Tell me about the wicked chanter. She is the dungeon's greatest mystery. In the long history of my vigil here, she has but recently appeared. Heroes who set off into the depths began to encounter something quite strange. A woman in rags who wanders the darkness accompanied by a horde of monsters. She is known to announce her arrival in song. She sings as she hunts and sings as she kills. The monsters of the dark serve her loyally and faithfully, protecting her to their dying breath. I know not who the chanter is. Many brave heroines have disappeared into the dungeon, but none possess such control over monsters. I only know that Chanter is more insane than the 3 other nightmares of the dungeon combined. When the terror she carries with her knows no mercy, she must be defeated. I see. And the feat, I ask you, is most dangerous, almost certainly suicidal. If you agree, I want you to understand what you're getting into. Who is the fellow here with you? The abominable embodiment of greed. He has no shame. He plunders the corpses of fallen heroes and sells his prizes, for I cannot forbid him from doing it. He does some good. He sometimes travels around the area delivering supplies. Can I rest here? Of course, my table is set for everyone. Eat and rest as much as you like. Down below, in the darkness, you will have to be at your best. Of note, you can only rest once per character level. So if I rest, and even if I go down to the dungeon and I come back, if I haven't gained another level, I can't rest up here until I do. You can take supplies and rest with those. And there are other places down below where you can rest, but if you want to rest up here, you have to have gained a level since last time. So I need supplies, of course, but forgive me, my treasures are not endless and I cannot provide you with free supplies. If you require the aid of a priest, select a scroll and I will read it for you. But be careful, down in the labyrinth, you're on your own. Do not go into the depths without a servant to the higher forces in your party. So basically saying you need a cleric in your party. Blah, you do not. So he has a few things here, a bunch of rings and amulets and stuff, some rods, potions and scrolls. I really don't buy anything from him early on, except for the bags of holding. Now we start with 1911 in gold. We're going to need all of that, so we can summon more heroes. So I'm going to do that now. If you noticed, we have 500. It costs 500. We have 1911. That means we can only hire 3 more. If we're lucky, we can sell up enough extra gear that we're not using to get that over to 2,000 so that we can hire the 4th party member. But we're going to have to go down to the dungeon and get some more money and come back to get our last party member. So we are going to go with another Halfling Rogue, and even though that looks a bit like a Halfling Cleric, it's one of the few Halfling females, so portraits I've got, so I'm going with that. Dark hair. Use that hairstyle. And is there a sad sort of face? Yeah, we'll do that one. And you are also going to be a rogue, but you're going to be just a... No, I'm going to make you a knife master as... No. Yeah, I'll make you a knife master as well. Why not? Why not? Actually, I'll make all the frontline rogues knife masters, I think. So, 18, 14, and 12. See how we go. And then trickery and stealth. We're going to be using stealth a fair bit. Everyone's going to have perception. And then 2 more skills. I'm going to let you take religion and nature, just so we've got someone with those skills. Not that you're going to be great at them, but it'll be better than nothing. And then we are going to take 2-weapon fighting for you. There we go. And another T name, so Tina maybe. I don't know why, but... And add to the party, except now let's just look at what I've got. I've got 2... Oh, actually, no, I've only got 1. I was originally given 1 punch dagger. But I'm going to take... Did I take... I did take 2-weapon fighting, yes. Yeah, why not? Unfortunately, there are no like normal weapons to buy from the guy here, so you really want to the cheapest weapon that you can buy is a masterwork weapon, so it costs 400 gold. So you can't just go and buy a couple of cheap daggers because it's just not going to work. So I think there's one other portrait I've got down here that sort of looks like a there we go, halfling thief female, and maybe that color hair. No, I'll go the brown hair. Female again, thank you. Brown hair. Let's go. Yeah, that hairstyle's fine. That face is fine. And another rogue knife master. I just like the knife master because they do 1d8 if they use their daggers. So I can have 1 using kukris, 1 using daggers, and 1 using punch daggers. It's fine. It's easy. Simple. It works. Trickery and stealth. Knowledge world, knowledge arcana, perception. And 2-weapon combat, even though we don't have 2 weapons for you at the moment.
May I see your entrails, please?
And Tracy.
Quick, else we miss all the fun.
And let's add Tracy to the group. There we go. And give you... Oh, where are we? Give you just a single punch dagger for the moment. Last one that we can hire for the moment until we get some more money. There's no more halfling bodies, and I really want these guys to all be halflings. Oh, I haven't used that one yet, have I? No, of course not. So that guy there, I think I go with a different hairstyle for him, don't I? That one will do. That face is fine. You are just going to be a straight up rogue. Because you are going to be... no. Yeah, that'll do. This guy is going to be a... We haven't taken anyone with athletics yet, have we? And another one with law nature, I guess. Actually, no, let's give you a use magical device. All of these guys on the back line are going to give you use magical device. You're going to be point blank shot because you're going to be using a crossbow or short bow. Haven't decided which yet.
I'll take care of it.
And you will be Troy. No, it helps if I... There we go.
I have no use for this.
Of course you do. And you've already... Actually, I've got to remember to get rid of these extra potions that I'm never going to use. And can sell them for a little bit anyway. Ooh, short sword. I forgot that the straight guys get a short sword, don't they? Might be worthwhile to do that. So I didn't really want these guys carrying around those like that, but I'll give you that as a backup. There we go. Okay. Now, I didn't have enough. I only got 411, and that I don't think selling all of this is going to be enough. Let's have a look. Okay, so... come on, guys. You've got your stash here. You've got managing your companions here. So this is where you can rest, even with the corpse there. You've got this table where you can rest. And then over here, I think this does the same as that, if I remember rightly. Oh, it's no, another copy of the good stash. I think maybe if you're playing the main game, you've got two separate stashes now, one for this area and one for your main quest one. I don't know. This is Honest Guy. We'll do him and then we'll finish the episode before we head on down. Honest Guy, a tall, bulky fellow with a shaved head, studies you closely, paying special attention to your equipment. He grins. Hello, my friends. Do you want to look your finest? I have the best wares and the finest prices in all of Tebranus Depths. And who are you? I'm an honest guy. The lad strikes his chest proudly with his fist. I stand here honestly, welcoming heroes and seeing them off to their feats of glory. I honestly collect the gear from their breathless corpses, and I honestly sell it to the next heroes. You freely and calmly admit that you pillage corpses. Forgive me my skepticism, but do you really never do that yourself? You've never taken anything from an enemy you've killed or a dead body you've found. At least I don't tell passers-by that I'm just waiting the chance to rob their dead bodies. That's exactly why I'm the honest guy, and not you. Still, it's not very nice. We put our lives at risk for everyone else, while you profit from our misfortune. Are you saying the honest guy isn't fair? That I have no shame? Why, do you? The plunderer nearly drops his spear in indignation. Of course I do. Maybe I get very sad every time I loot a new corpse. Maybe I'm thinking, what a pity this great hero has perished. I'll tell you what. I promise you I'll change. I'll donate part of my earnings to orphans, and to the Amida paladins for their fight against the demons, and to druids to help preserve the dwindling dinosaurs. I give you my word, I am an honest guy. No one is more honest than me. Does Zell allow your pillaging? What can he have a problem with? I'm betraying no one. I attack no one. I just pick up things that belong to no one and find them new owners. Perfectly honest, isn't it? And besides, that scaly worm would be so bored without me. He'd never have anyone to talk to. I'm just going to say I have to go purely because I like to grey out all of those choices. So let's have a look at your wares. As you can see, lots of nice magical weapons. Now, sometimes I look at here and go, okay, so there's a composite short bow. I look for some of the special weapons. So, what have we got here? Anything interesting? A large bastard sword +5. Okay, so there's a light crossbow +1. Okay, and then what's down the other end? Like, I'm looking for like frost or flaming or those sorts of weapons, or keen. So there's the Saviour, an elven curved blade. Whoa, that looks like it does a lot. It's a +5. I mean, it's going to take forever for me to afford it. It's $68,500. It's a +5. It's made of mithril. Oh, and that's it. I thought maybe it had some other special abilities. +5 is like insanely good, but you know, Sword of Elemental Servitude. It's a holy longsword. Okay, no good for me. No, so there's no other sort of special weapons. What I was doing was looking to see if there were, in particular in the ranged weapons, if there was like a really special, if there was like a flaming light crossbow or a special, you know, short crossbow of frost or something like that, then I would consider sort of modifying the build slightly of some of my characters to take that into account. But what I really just want to do right now is, no, I'm just a few coins short of my next purchase. I need 500 gold. Actually, so what I really need is like a little over, I need about 520 gold or something to be able to get my 5th and 6th party members. Okay, so this video has gone on long enough. Next one we're going to dive on into the Tebranus depths and see what it's all about. It's a random dungeon generation system, and it's quite good. It's a little bit of fun, and as I said, you level up fairly quickly. So let's give it a go and see how it goes. Thank you for joining me for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give me a like and share it with your friends. Make sure to subscribe so you can keep up to date with all the new videos as they come out, and I will see you for the next one. Thanks a lot. Bye.